Welcome to Cooking with Fiona, Season 2, Episode 3. Today we're going to be cooking oven-baked eggplant, or aubergine, wherever you're from. The ingredients are 3 medium-sized eggplants, 6 small tomatoes, 1½ cups of grated mozzarella, 1/4 cup of olive oil, fine sea salt or table salt, whatever you have, ground pepper, and fresh basil. That's key. So what I've done is I've prepared the eggplants. You cut them in half. We have tomatoes, we have grated mozzarella, we have olive oil, we have sea salt, and we have pepper and salt. And some lovely fresh basil, which was supplied to us by Bermuda. My husband helps out, Scott Tucker, and he very kindly brought some lovely fresh basil from Bermuda. So thank you, Bermuda. So here we go, and let's start off with getting the olive oil, which is all here, and you basically smother the olive oil over the eggplant. You douse it, give it a good douse. And after it is soaked in, give it another douse. I've prepared these eggplants, as you know, and I put them on parchment paper, and the oven has been preheated to 400, and that's ready to go. So we're going to put, once this is all smothered with olive oil and salt and pepper, then we're going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes at least, or until the middle of the eggplant is soft and it's crispy on the outside. So, I have a surprise guest coming, by the way. He's a lovely gentleman. He's been in Bermuda since September 2022. And I will introduce him, but I'm just getting you ready for him. And I welcome him to my Cooking with Fiona. And he was very good to come and help me cook and talk about what he does, which is an important part of what I do, which is sell real estate. And you all know I've been selling real estate for 37 years. Someone said to me yesterday, "Are you going to retire?" I said, "No, girl, what will I do? No way." So I'm here. I suppose I'll be here forever. Anyway, we're going to cover this with salt and pepper. And you see the eggplant actually absorbs that olive oil. Okay, and then pepper. Voila. Go in the oven for 30 minutes. Okay, so that's in the oven for 30 minutes, and we leave it there until it's soft in the middle and crisp on the outside. In the meantime, I would like to introduce Tim Noble. Tim Noble is a senior land surveyor, chartered and registered surveyor. He's a team leader, and he's been here in Bermuda since July 2022. So welcome.
Good morning, Fiona.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me on.
Yes, nice to see you this early morning, yes. Indeed. So Tim is going to talk about surveying. So when I get a listing, I have to be supplied by the seller a site plan and a deed description. And then I basically give this to Tim and his team, and they stake the property. So stake means put a pin in each corner of the lot. And it's really important to do this because there's encroachments, there's all sorts of things, dog kennels on property that shouldn't be there. So you have to be very specific with what you're selling to the buyer. And it is the responsibility of the seller to pass over good property without any encroachments. So, off you go, Tim.
Thanks, Fiona. Yes, so it's not just as easy as us turning up and staking out and just banging some bits of metal in the ground. It takes quite a lot of work for us to get to staking out those very important points. Right. So we start with the information that you give us, and we use our historical archive going back to the 1800s, and we dig around in there and find out as much information as we can. We then put all that research together using our kind of skill and judgment, and then we go out to site, see what we can find, some old features, maybe some Bermuda stone walls, old buildings, whatever's there. We measure all those very accurately using all our laser surveying equipment, and then we come back to site, we process all the information, we get it out on screen, we compare it with the historical information that we've managed to find.
Right.
And then once we've married it all up, made sure that it all makes sense, makes sense with the deeds, makes sense with the dimensions, then we can go back to site, and only then can we make sure that everything's accurate, we know that everything's in the right place. We can use our GPS to make sure it's all in the right place in the Bermuda national grid, and then we can stake out those points.
There's some great instruments that you use. That GPS is incredible.
Yeah, it's this accurate, and it will tell you exactly where you are.
Yeah,
in Bermuda.
It's wonderful. Yeah. It's very, very efficient, isn't it?
Yeah.
So at Coldwell Banker, you have some very technical equipment.
That's true.
You really do. So talk about that equipment.
Yeah. So we've got the highest tech equipment you can buy. Basically, we've got total station, which is what you normally see us use with on the tripod and with a pole.
Right, seen that.
And also we have the GPS equipment, which measures down to kind of 1/4 of an inch accuracy, maybe even less, and that allows us to locate those boundary corners super accurately. Super accurately.
And it has to comply with the description of the property and so on.
In the last couple of weeks, we've managed to acquire a laser scanner at Coldwell Banker, Bermuda Realty, which really is absolutely cutting edge technology. And this is going to basically transform the way that we measure property in Bermuda.
And is that buildings or is it land?
It can be a bit of both.
Yeah.
It's primarily buildings.
Right.
So we're very good with floor plans, any measured building surveys that you want to do.
Right.
So it's good for landlords, architects, anyone who's not quite sure of the size of their property, maybe wants to make sure that their rental is correct, their square footage. So basically the laser scanner shoots out millions of points every minute and makes an accurate 3D replica of the building that you're in at the time.
That I have seen a little sample of this, by the way.
It speeds up the process, so what would have taken us maybe a day in the past to measure will now take us about 10 minutes. So we're the very first to kind of benchmark this technology here.
Oh, that's wonderful. Isn't that wonderful to be in the cutting edge and ahead of the game in that respect?
Yeah, you've got to keep pushing the boundaries.
You've got to keep pushing the boundaries, that's
so to speak, boundaries.
Talk about boundaries. So as a buyer, if you buy a lot of land, in order to develop it, you have to have what is called a topographical survey or topo survey. Now that is something that Tim and his team will do.
Absolutely.
They draw a plan. Basically, it's a lay of the land. So you need that in order to build your house. So that's done by you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we use our total station for that. Some of the similar equipment we used in staking out the boundaries.
Okay.
We make an accurate 3D model of the ground shape. We take enough measurements so the architect can actually tell where the land is, how big it is, the size of it, the shape of it, and he can use that then to design your fantastic new house.
There you go. That's what we want, your fantastic new house. And that's why you bought that lot of land.
Exactly.
From me. So if you are an owner or landlord of a commercial building, Tim and his team have the most amazing laser equipment.
So using the techniques I described earlier, we have the scanner, and we can basically go around each floor of the building super quick, absolutely kind of minimal inconvenience to any tenants or people in the building.
Right.
And
that's good.
When the data is processed, we can basically get out a super accurate floor plan showing the square footage, any obstructions, anything in the building that people might be interested in, any new owners, new tenants, straight away you can give them exactly what they need.
And they're always looking for the detail.
Absolutely.
So
it'll be there.
And it will all be there.
It'll all be there.
So if you have a sizable house that you're selling, that's the same thing, that he could use that laser.
Yep. And also if you need any architectural drawings, if you're making any changes or alterations to your house, extension, any of that stuff, we can do the scan, prepare the drawings and hand it straight over to the architect.
Okay, 30 minutes. The eggplant is ready. It's crispy on the outside and soft in the middle. I'm just going to go and I'll come behind Tim and get it out of the oven.
Can't wait.
Ooh, yummy, 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 yummy.
Smells good.
So here we go. Tim's going to help me. Here she is. So we're gonna dress the eggplants, and I'm going to start so you get an idea.
Yeah.
And then follow through each one, Tim.
Righto.
And I know your wife is going to be very proud of you. Sprinkle the cheese, grated mozzarella. Call me 534-9932 or text me on that number. I look forward to hearing from you. So Tim, what we're going to do is I'm going to put it back in the oven for 5 minutes, and then once that's done, then I'm going to dress it with the basil.
Fantastic.
That's it.
Great. All right, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to just say thank you very much. Thank you for coming. I really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And you did a tremendous job in sharing all of your knowledge. We love it.
No worries.
So the eggplant with the mozzarella and the tomato is all ready to come out of the oven. You're going to have a good look at it, and then we're going to decorate it with this fresh basil. And there we go. Hold on one sec. There it is. Okay, so we'll hold on to this, and we're going to put this on the pan, the serving platter. So we're going to get this basil, fresh basil. Voila, here we go. Here we go. Oven baked eggplant, nicely dressed with basil, fresh basil. Enjoy it, and bye for now, and we'll see you in a month with my other surprise guests. Woohoo! Yoo-hoo!
Please call Fiona Hatfield on 534-9932 or email at fhatfield@brcl.bm.